Hi guys, I'm Dr. Joel Yap, and today my colleague and myself will be presenting to you a program that is basically offered by APU. It is called Bachelor of Science Honors in Psychology. So it's great to be sharing this information with all of you, and we hope that towards the end you get to know more about our program. So without further ado, let's proceed. So this is a little bit about myself. I'm Dr. Joel Yap. Actually, we are coming, my colleague, Cynthia Shoba, and we are actually coming from School of Marketing and Management, SOMM. To begin with, actually, I started my teaching career since 2013, and actually, I'm having a 8 years full-time university teacher experience currently. And previously, I was appointed as the head of Department of Psychology at Southern University College, and over the years, I got some publications in Scopus and ISI index journals. And I'm also fortunate enough to be involved in one of the national projects. And it was being selected for the Ministry of Higher Education. It's so-called under the project of FRGS in 2017. I did my master in UK, and I also did my undergraduate in the UK. And also I got my PhD in UTM. And I'm also a certified HRBF trainer person. Okay, so let us have a look at the details of my colleague. So my colleague, Miss Cynthia Shoba, she's a licensed and registered counselor, and she has been involved in counseling industry for almost 8 years. And over the years, she has been helping different clients from different cultural backgrounds and in different settings, and she has massive experience in teaching students in diploma and degree level for psychology. And she is also a certified counselor supervisor and obtained the certification from Idaho State University, USA. And she has a master in counseling from Help University, Malaysia. And she's also a certified HRDF trainer person. And she's a licensed and registered counselor from LKM, Lembaga Counsel Malaysia. All right, and today we'll be presenting to you about our program, Bachelor of Psychology. And myself, I'll be speaking for the first half of the sessions and followed by my colleague. So, what is psychology? So basically, a lot of people prior to this sessions, right? Maybe some of you might have thought about, psychology is basically to sort of like people are trying to read other people's mind. You are partially correct. Because if you look at the definitions by some of the associations, say for instance like BPS, they do mention actually psychology is the scientific study of people and the mind and behavior. So this is basically the definition given by the BPS. Then we move on to IL 4.0 and psychology. So I think that nowadays everyone literally, not only in Malaysia but in any other places in the world, people will be talking about things like IL 4.0. So basically, what do you mean by IL 4.0? IL 4.0 stands for Industrial Revolutions 4.0, and this is the trend that everyone will be sooner or later, just a matter of time, will be facing. So what is the involvement of psychology when it comes to IL 4.0? Probably by now you will think like, okay, can psychology be involved in something like technology and or even like AI kind of thingy, right? So as you can see, actually, nevertheless, we have to say, just a matter of time, a lot of industry or even different areas of they will basically be things will be automated. Meaning to say that actually we will tend to see certain jobs that require labor work, they'll be replaced by machines and all these things, right? But one thing I want you to bear in mind is that actually human touch is still the main thing that in psychology we've always been highlighting, that human touch, right? And psychology, the gist of psychology actually is to understand human mind, human behavior. That's why even for a person like Dr. Yusuf, right? He actually mentioned that in the time whereby everything has been automated, or when we move on to IL 4.0, it is still very crucial for us to really maintain a good mental health. And hereby, what we're trying to imply is that actually psychology still become is still the main thing that we need to really look into it. And then now we move on to uniqueness of APU psychology program. As you can see, actually at APU, right, we give the students a full-fledged of experience whereby the students actually they not only the program itself is designed in a way to blend sort of like conventional psychology, and of course when we have the facilities to infuse the technology needed for the program. So actually it's like giving the students the full-fledged experience. And then also we have throughout the 3 years program, like all the modules actually giving the students a sense of feeling whereby they not only they can learn theoretical information from different psychological pioneers, but at the same time they can also we try to relate those information to contemporary environment. And also clear apprehensions of human mind. Our lectures here, we are really committed to really provide the students a very clear ideas on of human mind and human behaviors, and also we will emphasize on especially the use of psychology as we talk about human being, right? So we will also mention about human different personalities involved. And then last but not least, one of the important things I want to highlight for under this APU psychology program, the uniqueness, is that actually our program is also is a dual degree program with De Montfort University from the UK, and then actually upon finishing completions of their study, actually the student can have 2 certificates. One is from Malaysia APU, and the other one is from DNU from the UK. So actually you have 2 certificates at once. All right, so now we move on psychology modules. As you can see, I'm not going to go in depth in all the modules, but I'm just going to give you guys some ideas on what you'll be learning. So because it's a 3 years program, right? So year 1, year 2, year 3. So normally in the introductory level, year 1, we'll be exposing the students to modules like Introduction to Psychology, whereby the student will learn different areas of psychology so that they will know actually what basically people will do in this particular area. Say for instance, developmental psychology, they will learn about human development. Before they jump into developmental psychology, they will learn about, okay, we have human development is normally studied like this and that, different methods. And then also we'll give the students some ideas on, say for instance, attention, memory, and all these things, which is very crucial in the process of understanding human mind and human behavior. And that is year 1, and also we'll cover developmental psychology. So lecture will be exposing the students to different topics pertaining to human development, ranging from infancy, adolescence, and adulthood, things like that. So, and when it comes to year 2 modules, we'll expose the students to modules like cognitive psychology, whereby the students will have an opportunity to learn how to do research and how to do experiments, and and they will also have the exposure to certain facilities in our lab, psychology lab. Then towards the end of the program, which is year 3, in between year 2 and year 3, the student will have to go through 16 weeks, which is roughly a 4 months internship, whereby they will have the opportunity to really work or with placement, having a placement in one of the companies or also associations in Malaysia, and they can actually apply their skills and to their workplace settings and all these things. So hopefully they will learn a lot of things throughout their internship period. And then the last year they will basically take modules like cyber psychology and health psychology, which is very these are the modules which will predispose students to specific and niche area of psychology. So I'll pass the session to my colleague, Ms. Cynthia Shoba, and she'll walk through all the sessions, the remaining ideas, the ideas in psychology, and with the students today. So Cynthia, it's your turn.
Thank you, Dr. Joel, for the wonderful introduction and also a very informative session. Okay, so I'm going to talk here about the life cycle of a human. So when you look at this picture, what comes to mind? You can see it starts from birth until the end, okay, until you have reached to the last stage of your life, which is death. Okay, so how many of us actually take time to actually evaluate, to actually reflect on each stage of our cycle of a human life? I know that we go through each stage, but then how many of us actually at each stage we actually reflect, we actually think, okay, what have we done at this stage? How can we make it better in the next stage? What are the learnings? What are the experience that we can take from this stage to the next stage? Because each stage of our life is interconnected. Okay, interconnected in a sense that each stage has its experience that will contribute to the next stage. Okay, that will help us to move on to the next stage. Okay, and that will help us to grow. So that is what developmental psychology is about, which we will be learning in your first semester. Okay, so you will be looking at the stages starting from birth until death. So you will learn about your early adulthood, your middle and late childhood, okay, your late adulthood, and it can relate to your daily life. So basically this subject will help you to relate to your daily life, how you go through the life process, the life cycle of a human being in your daily life. Interesting, isn't it, guys? How many of us actually thought about this? When we look at it, we'll be like, okay, it's only on theory, it's only on books. But actually what we are doing is we are looking at our whole life ahead, and we're going to put it in stages. And along the way, we'll be learning different theories in human development, where it will help you. You can use those theories to evaluate the stage that you're currently at, to reflect the stage that you're currently at. So it's not only on theories, on books, but it's also life experiences that we are learning in this course. Okay, then we'll come to the challenges. Let us look at the challenges that we are facing along the way. At each stage we go through, we definitely have certain challenges that we will go through. Okay, challenges comes in different ways, and each of us experience different kind of challenges. Okay, we have challenges in the area of relationships, in the area of mental health, in this area of stress, in the area of social. So we struggle. Relationship doesn't necessarily mean romantic relationship with families. How do we deal with families? One very good example is during the time of COVID-19 now, where we are all forced to stay at home. We cannot go out. So we have to work together at home. Each of us have our own career. Each of us have our own life to live, but under one roof. So how are we going to deal with the relationships if we were not talking to our siblings, if we have certain conflict with our spouse, with our parents? So how do we deal with it, and how do we cope with it so that it would not add on to the stress that we are facing? Okay, stress comes in different forms. Okay, we have stress when we are anxious, we have stress when we are tense with something. We even get a little bit stressed when we are happy. Okay, so yes, so how do we deal with the stresses? What are the coping mechanisms? What are the healthy coping mechanisms? Some of us resort to the dysfunctional coping mechanisms like alcohol, drugs. Okay, so what are the healthy ways that can work for us to be able to go through the stress, to be able to cope with the stress? Mental health. As you can see, wherever we turn, there are people talking about mental health. Okay, just like when we have a flu or when we have a fever, we go and see the doctor. But what about our mental health? When we need a mental health check, why is it so difficult for us to go and see a counselor? Why is it so difficult for us to speak to a mental health professional? Because of the stigma. We are afraid of the stigma that is going to be labeled on us. People may be calling us crazy. This person is out of their mind. They don't want to be friends with us. If when we are not feeling well and when we can go to the doctor for a flu and a fever, it's same for our mental health. Our mental health is important and it needs to be taken care of. It's just because that we can't see it and it's within us, and we need to know how to take care of our mental health. Good mental health makes our life happy. It keeps us physically healthy. Okay, so it contributes to our whole system. And social. What are the challenges that we face socially? Do we find difficulty mixing with people? Do we have social anxiety talking to a crowd of people? Okay, are we being bullied? How are things at school? How are things at university? How are things at work? Do we have difficulty communicating with our family members in gatherings, with our extended family members? So these are all the challenges that we face in our daily life. This is not something new, guys. These challenges, every one of us face it. You, I, everybody around us, okay? So how do we learn to cope with these challenges? So by doing this course, you will learn how the psychology helps a person to deal with this. Okay, so the first thing will be we will be able to cope better. Okay, I know there's a lot of information on Google. We can Google up everything and we can see. But then again, what is the right way? What works for you may not necessarily work for me or work for another person. So by going through this course, by learning psychology, we are able to understand ourselves better. The first thing, the most important thing is knowing who I am, what I like, what I'm going through, what I want to do, what I want to study, how I want my career path to be. And also we will be able to understand people around us. So if before this we found it difficult to understand why is this particular person behaving in this particular way, why is this person getting angry at us for this particular thing. But after going through this course, we will be able to analyze, we will be able to relate to see what the person is going through and why the person is feeling this way. And the most important thing, being open to seeking professional help for our mental health issue. It's okay to seek help, guys. It's okay to see a mental health professional to take care of your mental health. So by going through this course in psychology, it will actually teach you that it's okay to seek help, okay? And it also teaches you why it is important for you to seek mental health professional. Why isn't it unhealthy for you to sweep everything under the carpet, to keep everything inside, and towards the last, explode? Okay, so basically, this degree does not only help you in terms of academic, it helps you in terms of going through life, in terms of understanding life itself as a whole. Think about it. And if you're interested, really interested in psychology, go for it, guys. Because it's not just a degree. It's a degree where it will help you in your life also, in terms of you get the academic, you get the life experience. So it's 2 in 1. So now I'll pass it over to Dr. Joel for some last words. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Cynthia, for your wonderful sharing and informative information. So I think that's it for today. And like what my colleague, Miss Cynthia, has mentioned just now, psychology program, our psychology program is just not a degree, it's far beyond this. So we hope to provide the students information, not only you can learn about psychology in a full-fledged aspect, but at the same time, you can learn more about yourself, well-being, how to take care of your well-being, things like that. At the same time, if you have any questions, feel free to approach our admin staff, our marketing admin staff. They'll be more than happy to share more information with you regarding our program. So again, once again, thank you for your attention and your watching, and we would love to see you on campus. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.